Shelter, a social economic necessity. It provides security and sanctuary as well as personal space and privacy. Although shelter is a basic right, its nature depends on the economic status and taste of the owner. While some people take comfort in modest places of abode, many others go to great lengths to ensure extra luxury and sophistication. About 80% of the population live in rural areas, where the majority of the population build their own houses on their pieces of land. The remaining 20% in the urban areas compete for the inadequate shelter. A number of people who can afford it live in well-planned areas with spacious houses and a generally good neighborhood, while the majority live in poorly planned settlements. In most cases, good houses located in appalling environments. Kampala, Uganda's capital. A sprawling metropolis, the major commercial center whose activities and facilities attract huge populations in search of a better life and economic livelihood. This growing population no doubt impacts greatly on the existing physical infrastructure, hence the need for constant shelter expansion. The post-independence government of the time realized the need to provide shelter for the young nation and formed a parastatal to fulfill this task, the National Housing Corporation.
National Housing was formed as National Housing Corporation in 1964 by an Act of Parliament, and it was established to create housing for Ugandans, for the increasing Ugandan population. And that was more than 40 years ago. In the 70s, it was then changed to National Housing and Construction Corporation. When government was capitalizing the initial corporation, government provided houses to the corporation. So that was the capital that the company started with.
The company embarked on its mandate to increase the housing stock, steadfastly embracing different classes of the population. In 1968, a 50-hectare piece of land was identified and earmarked for the development. Subsequently, 32 blocks to accommodate 872 flats of 2 and 3 bedrooms were built. This was one of the corporation's first major projects. Since the 1970s, Bugolobi flats have provided decent accommodation for thousands of city dwellers who enjoy good surrounding and easy accessibility to utilities.
These are part of the capitalization program. Government capitalized housing finance, national housing, to build more assets, and they transferred some of the houses that were under the civil servant scheme, or they were called poor houses. Some of those were transferred to national housing to help it, start to manage and build more houses.
Basing on the Bugolobi model, 9 blocks housing 136 3-bedroom and 2-bedroom flats were constructed in Wandegea at the time when the area was one of Kampala's prime residential areas. These were targeting the city's middle class. In 2002, National Housing and Construction Corporation was converted into a company.
In 1974, the Act of Parliament that established the National Housing and Construction Corporation was repealed by Decree number 19 of Idi Amin and added on the construction function to become the National Housing and Construction Corporation.
With the construction component added, the company now had the capacity to engage in construction. A 33-acre piece of land was identified for development in Bukoto that subsequently saw the construction of 180 two-bedroom Bukoto brown flats built on 17 acres. These targeted fresh civil servants, especially bachelors and those with small families. The remaining 16 acres adjacent to the brown flats was developed into the Bukoto White Flats estate. In total, 138 flats were built. They are a mixture of 3- and 2-bedroom flats. The advent of the political stability in the late 80s prompted economic growth, and the demand for housing, especially in the urban areas, increased. As the lead player in the housing and construction industry, National Housing swung into action and responded to address the housing needs. New strategies were laid to capitalize the enterprise and broaden its products. This gave rise to the development of Bukoto bungalows and maisonettes projects and the Ntinda housing estate.
Yeah, the Bukoto houses came out of a concept of moving away from flats. Before, National Housing just had flats, and then also a time came when we started selling off the government pool houses to the sitting tenants. So we wanted to establish now new houses which people can occupy. That's how we came up with the concept of the Bukoto houses. Have bungalows, have maisonettes, you know, the Nhcc maisonettes. We constructed about 110 houses.
For a while, the company concentrated on constructing bungalows. It secured prime land in Ntinda, on which 25 upper-class Ntinda estate bungalows were built. The strategy now was focusing on building for sale. With time, the National Housing Construction Corporation realized that there was need to cater for the taste-driven market. They developed the idea of selling shell houses.
Now, when we finished those houses and we offered them to the public needed a certain kind of design, and others opted for having shell houses. So then we also had to incorporate shell houses in the Ntinda housing estate, which people could finish to their tastes.
Ntinda Estate worked as a litmus test for a company that was now self-supporting. It was proof that through the sale of its properties, it was able to raise enough capital to finance more projects.
Revenue from the sale of high-income group went to build 28 bungalows of middle and low-income group. The sale of Bukoto, the new estate above the brown flats, and what is called Benokot Close on the left side of the white flats, generated revenue now to go to Naria Estate and build much more units.
Located 25 minutes away from the city centre, Nalia Housing Estate is a perfect demonstration of National Housing's remarkable contribution to the development of the housing sector and infrastructure. The low-cost houses, which were the springboard of Nalia, are relatively modest 3-bedroom houses with a living room, kitchen, toilet and bathroom, with a compound and direct access to the estate road network.
The Naria Estate started in 1995. It was a virgin land on the fringes of the Kampala City Council and was planned to accommodate 1,500 units. To date, we have built over 780 units with the complete infrastructure, that is roads, water, electricity, and community facilities.
Nalia has now become a middle-market residential area thanks to National Housing that attracted shelter development in the area, having laid utility infrastructure. This development proved a major attraction for the upper-income groups, a situation that prompted Nhcc to cater for this category of clientele. An estate comprising 395 bungalows and shell houses was built. In 2002, after a prolonged debate, Parliament passed the condominium law. The enactment of this law has been very instrumental in enhancing the company's capacity to expand on the housing stock, specifically with regard to construction and sale of multi-storied flats.
Yeah, the condominium law was a very good law for a country like Uganda, because it now enables people to own multi-floor apartment buildings. Before, you could only own a land on which a house is built. But with the condominium law, you are able now to own your own unit in the multi-apartment blocks. So it has facilitated real estate development in the country. That's why you have seen now a number of new entrants has come into that market, because you are able to build on, you are able to consolidate your infrastructure, and it would serve a big number of units.
Nalia Courts Phase 1 has 40 turnkey flats. The flats are housed in 5 blocks of 8 flats each. These condominium flats open into a generous green courtyard with ample parking space, as well as well laid out infrastructure, including an expansive tarmac road network and all utilities. Adjacent to Nalia Courts Phase 1 is the Nalia Courts Phase 2. This neighborhood is made up of 2 4-story blocks with 32 3-bedroom flats. This particular estate is targeting the upper and middle income earners. In line with the privatization and divestiture policy, in 2005, government divested 49% of its shares in Nhcc to the Libyan government, retaining the 51%.
We came in and we tried to improve the situation. At least for the last year, management and the board members and the chairman noticed that there is a lot of improvement. We made a lot of profit for the last year. Things is going better. And I think we try to provide housing with minimum prices for every Ugandan, which is very difficult, but we are trying hard to do, to improve the living situation and accommodation situation in Uganda.
Armed with the new structures, new strategies and new energy, National Housing and Construction Company Limited, as the company is now known, is able to take on new mega projects. This is Luboa Estates, located in the upmarket area along Entebbe Road. The entire estate initially comprised 108 acres. Luboa has 86 bungalows, 69 of which were sold shell level, while the 17 were turnkey bungalows. The location of this estate has uplifted the status of the area that was previously considered off-town and low-rated. Today, Luboa Estates ranks among Kampala's top-rated residential areas. In an effort to address the problem of housing shortage, the company has set itself a target: 500 meters to the east of Luboa 108. The company launched yet another project, Regina Housing Estate. Construction commenced in March 2008. On completion, the estate will have 40 units. Located in the high-income residential neighborhood of Mbuya, east of Kampala, Sunderland Apartments project, whose construction commenced early 2008, is a perfect demonstration of the company's ability to utilize relatively small space to put up premium residences that can comfortably accommodate relatively large numbers of people. Sunderland apartments are located on a piece of land covering a total area of 46 decimals. Each unit covers 308 square meters with a double garage and store in the basement, a combined living and dining room with a kitchen and visitor's toilet on the ground floor, while the 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms are on the first floor.
We design and know that people need to live as a community, but still want their privacy. That's the concept that we, under which Mbuya units has been. It's a community, still with a common access, but independent units.
Located on Lubya Hill, 10 kilometers west of Kampala off Hoima Road, the Namungona Phase 1 covers 5.9 acres. On completion, this phase will comprise 144 2-bedroom units, complete with living and dining room area, kitchen and bathroom to cater for this class of clientele. Across the Nalia Valley on Chiwatule Hill, the company secured 21 acres on which it is building 268 3-bedroom apartments complete with spacious living room, dining room, kitchen, bathroom and veranda. This estate is also targeting the middle income bracket. Besides constructing houses to address accommodation needs, the company has over the years built commercial structures to provide office space, shops and other infrastructure developments. Crested Towers. The 2 towers of which one is the tallest in the city with 21 floors. It is no doubt the most prestigious of all the company's properties. This multi-million-dollar property was constructed in 1969 to accommodate office space and retail outlets. Today, Crested Towers stands jewel-like among the high-rising structures that form Kampala's skyline. National Housing and Construction Company also engages in competitive bidding to construct for institutional clients.
We bid like any other contractor and compete in the bidding, and when we get the bid, we build. The example is we build the Wakiso District Administration, the Wakiso Planning Office, and the health block at Wakiso. Tororo District Administration, hospitals, and other things.
Like any other sector in Uganda, the housing sector has also been liberalized. Many players have come into the market, and this no doubt creates competition. Today, the company no longer has the privilege of enjoying the monopoly of the 70s and the 80s. But the company has carved itself a market niche basing on the wide experience and the undisputed quality of its products.
Our clients like our products, definitely. Our houses are good. They're good quality developments. They're brilliant neighborhoods, and we believe they're really attractive. High value. They get a lot of value for money. And we believe they like them, and those who give us feedback confirm that what we have done is a good job.
I'm very happy. I'm an owner of one of the houses in the Luboa National Housing and Construction Company estate. I got that house on, of course, mortgage basis, and I think even the terms are good. Number 3, no sooner had I finished purchasing that house than the prices of building materials shot up. So that house is not worth what I bought it. It's much more. So I would even buy probably another house if you built another estate somewhere else.
The company has been able to achieve this because of its unwavering adherence to professionalism and consistent good construction practices.
Yes, as National Housing, we believe in quality. So each project is supervised by a qualified and experienced engineer. We normally recruit the best engineers who are experienced in construction, and we test all our building materials. We don't compromise on quality. People who have bought National Housing houses can testify to you that it is the best quality somebody could get.
In order to encourage people to own affordable, well-planned houses in well-planned environments, the company has gone an extra mile by teaming up with a number of financial institutions to provide mortgage facilities to its clients. Today, many people are increasingly accepting to take up mortgages because they see it as the easiest way of owning a house without necessarily having huge sums of cash.
If I had to give you a choice to rent a house for $500,000 a month and to take a mortgage of $500,000 a month, I believe you'd choose to take a mortgage for $500,000 a month, because for every $500,000 you pay for a completed house, a well-built, completed house, you own a piece. You own an increasing share of that house for every $500,000 you pay. Now this is the education that we need to give Ugandans who are still hesitating to take a mortgage, is that with a mortgage, with every payment, you own an increasing share of that house until you pay it off. While in a rental relationship, you only own the space for that 1 month.
The focus for the company now remains on achieving its major objective of striving to provide decent, affordable housing to Uganda's rapidly growing population.
We have a mountain to climb, and that mountain is not just for national housing, it's a national problem. If you look at Kampala alone, the housing backlog is 100,000 today. If you took the national figure, it's 600 to 700,000. So national housing alone can never dream of solving that problem, but we need the problem to get solved. So we need all the developers who can come to the table to come and work with us. But at the same time, we need to work with government to begin to resolve some of the teething challenges that we meet in housing. And some of them, some of the most critical ones are financing. When we look at financing, we find that there's not enough long-term money in the country. So we need to make the market attractive for long-term money to come. Secondly, is the issue of the price of money, interest rates. Interest rates are high. We're operating between 16 and 20, and we need to see those interest rates come down in order to make mortgages more attractive to more people. The third major challenge we expect to work with government to resolve is taxes. Many of the materials we use on the houses we build come from abroad, and we need to find a way to reduce on the tax burden that we carry so as to reduce the eventual cost of a home. Final one, and most important, I think, is the cost of infrastructure that we meet. Today, every developer has to build the infrastructure on their estate, but these are public goods. So we would like government to step forward and take this burden off our shoulders. By doing so, government will reduce the cost of a house by between 15 and 35%. Now that benefit can easily be passed on to the buyer of a home in terms of a reduced price.
To address these challenges, National Housing works hand in hand with government and international bodies to learn from best practices that have been adopted globally.
The World Urban Forum is organized by the United Nations Habitat, UN Habitat, which is the UN agency that is concerned with housing, shelter and urban development. The meeting this year is taking place in Rio de Janeiro in Brazil. The World Urban Forum helps government to identify and understand the issues related to urban development, shelter, health and sanitation, gender issues when it comes to housing, youth and governance. This year, they're going to be also talking about things like income disparity, youth and women, slum upgrading, and we think that the themes that they have adopted at the World Urban Forum are very relevant to Uganda. And for that reason, we are going to send a very big delegation of about 25 people. I understand His Excellency, the President, is also planning to attend. And just to underscore the importance of housing, we feel that our participation as a company is very important. We, as a company, are trying to focus our attention on the areas where we have not been active. We want to learn from people in other parts of the world who have done slum upgrading, because we need to change the face of what we call slums today. We have to find an economical way to ensure that everybody has water, everybody has power, everybody has a good road servicing their neighborhood, and good sanitation facilities. Now, the cost of the kind of infrastructure you need in order to do this can be very high. So we need to learn how they have financed some of these facilities to ensure that cities grow and that they are welcoming, and that they're not a forgettable sight. So these are some of the challenges that we want to pick up from there, from other people who have solved them, so that we learn and bring the lessons to Uganda.
No doubt, National Housing and Construction Company Limited has made a remarkable impact on Uganda's housing sector and continues to do so as it adopts new strategies and new ideas that will propel it to reach its goal of providing affordable, decent housing in well-planned environments.